Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is a pickups video and this is Nitro. Oh yes, the most handsome cat in England. What's he seen? Not sure. Yeah, he's stretch. He's had to go to the vet recently. He's now been told by 3 different vets that he's overweight. It's true, mate. I would be strict, trying to help him cut down, trying to help him diet. He's also had a bald patch under his chin, which you might not be able to see. He's had a scabby section on his chin, loads of scabbies. So we had that shaved again, and then we had to put this cream on, and it cleared it up. So that's better now. So hopefully he's feeling better. He had a couple of little complaints. He had some bare knees as well, some kind of thinning patches to his fur on his back legs, which is a bit worrying. We didn't know if it was stress or what, but he's had a few checkups and got a posh new water fountain. Make sure he's getting plenty of clean water, filtered water, mind. We're going to put filtered water in the water fountain. The decadence of this cat is ridiculous. So pretentious. Won't drink water out of a bowl. No. Anyway, yeah, this is a pickups video, eventually. It's all PSVR stuff. Yeah, got some cool stuff. I got a few old releases that I've been meaning to get for a while. I kind of was holding off on them because I just thought they might come down in price, but they've hovered around the same price now for about a year. So I think these are both launch releases as well. So yeah, these came out on day 1, I do believe, and yeah, when the system first came out, there was certainly more physical releases, and you know, the quality wasn't as high as well. So you were getting games that now probably wouldn't get a physical release back then because it was the big launch. Yeah, there was some really basic games got released on disc, and one of them is Pong VR, table tennis simulator, of course. Yeah, it's very simplistic graphics, very low budget, but does it need a high budget to be a fucking table tennis simulator? It's like a Minecraft style graphics world, but it works really well. The physics are really good. You know, it's really accurate, smooth looking. So yeah, that high frames per second, the high refresh rate of the screen comes in handy as well because you can keep track of the ball very easily. It's nice smooth movement on the ball, and just the physics work really well. It's a bit difficult to begin with, but that's because table tennis is pretty difficult to begin with. If you first go and play table tennis, it's hard, and so you have similar issues getting used to it playing this, because it is actually, you know, you got to get good at it. But yeah, it feels really accurate, and that's what you'd want out of it. So it's a lot of fun. There's various different game modes in there, tournaments, practice, targets, that kind of thing. It is difficult, but yeah, you do get better. I don't really have the room or the inclination to get a real table tennis, but I do love the game. So yeah, this is a nice substitute for not being able to have my own table tennis. I probably could set up some kind of table in the house to play table tennis if I was that bothered. But this is cheaper and easier, more convenient. But yeah, it's really good. The one glaring omission from it is there's no multiplayer, no versus. I don't know if there was some problem with being able to do that, some programming issue, I don't know. But it would be so quality to have this 2-player, to be in there playing against somebody across from you. Yeah, I don't know if there's some programming issue with that. Maybe you won't be able to update it quick enough. I don't know what it is, but it's a shame it's not there. I believe there is a tennis game coming for VR. There is a kind of tennis VR game coming. So, and I'm pretty damn sure that will have multiplayer. So we'll see how it works out. It's a shame this doesn't have it, but yeah, an early release, and this was about 10 quid, and it's been hovering around that price, 10 to 15, for a long time. But yeah, all right. Right, the next one, another launch release for PSVR, and it is DriveClub VR. Now, of course, this had a release as a flat game, a normal game, what do you want to call them, non-VR, as DriveClub. They updated it and released it as DriveClub VR on a physical format, and again I got this one for about 12 quid, and it's okay, it's good. It's notoriously quite blurry, kind of feels like a lot of the backgrounds are smeared in Vaseline a little bit. It was, like I say, a launch release, very early port to VR, so maybe the devs weren't as good as they are now at porting games to VR, I don't know. But yeah, certainly there's been crisper looking racing games since this one, Wipeout VR being the obvious choice. But it still plays really well, and although I did enjoy Dirt Rally, Dirt Club. Although I did enjoy Dirt Rally VR, which looks a little bit better, plays better really, is a better game all around for VR. This still is quite fun. You do get that sense of speed. It's again just really crazy being able to look around inside the car that you're in, look behind you, look in the mirrors as well that show you what's behind you. Well, they do that anyway on racing games on the TV, but just the simple fact of looking over to your mirror and seeing the mirror where it normally is in relation to how when you're actually driving a car, it feels pretty cool. Yeah, it does a good job of giving that sense of presence, really, is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, this is pretty decent. Now then, a couple more recent releases. There's a company that's been putting out, helping to bring some VR releases to the physical format. And there's companies that do this on old retro consoles as well. And I'm really glad that somebody's doing this for the VR. The company's called Perp, P-E-R-P, Perp. And they've helped bring some indie releases to physical format. This one is a very simple game. I'll just show you. It's Fruit Ninja VR. It's so simple. You've got two katanas in your hand and you're just slicing fruit as it flies towards you and around about you. That's it. But you can also kind of bounce them on the end of on the flat part of your sword. You can tip them up and things. But basically you're just slicing fruit. And it is fun for a short time. There's different modes in there, but it's the same core gameplay all along. It's definitely not worth what I paid for it. I had a little bit of a splurge. I did kind of, had a moment where I just ordered a bunch of physical games for PSVR because it's nice to collect. Still got that collecting itch, it seems. Even though I've got rid of a lot of my retro stuff. So this definitely isn't worth the 20 quid that I paid for it. And you can get it digitally cheaper as well. But it was just one of those days where I was like, I want the discs! I want the thing in my hand! For collecting purposes. Pointless. There's no manual. Why? I don't know. There it is anyway. It's alright. This one is more recent even than that. And I'll show you first. It is Time Carnage. Again, helped to be brought to physical by Perp. Although this was brought out on physical at the same time, more or less, I believe, that it came out on the store. So, yeah, but anyway, Perp seemed to be involved with that as well. And they do take requests as well. So I'm going to try and get onto them and see if I can get some of my favourite PSVR digital releases put out on disc. Who knows? But anyway, Time Carnage is like a wave shooter. There's a lot of wave shooters on PSVR. Obviously, it's suited to the genre. You've got your move controllers, so it's an absolute natural fit. Wave shooters, light gun style games in VR, just absolutely fit perfectly to the medium, to the technology being used. So there's a lot of them. And this is one of the latest ones. And yeah, it's pretty good. I have to admit, I wasn't blown away to begin with. I found it a little bit awkward, the way that you reload guns and pick up your weapons. Takes a little getting used to, but not a huge amount. I did end up enjoying it quite a lot. It's really accurate, it feels really solid. It's good shooting action. It's a little bit of a slog. The campaign is kind of set up in a way that you have like 10 waves in each area. And it just gets a little bit of a slog towards the end. It's kind of stretched out a bit, but it is fun. It's a challenge definitely, and it's all right. I'd probably wait for a sale unless you're a massive wave shooter fan. I got this for 20 quid again, it was, yeah. So those are 4 physical releases for the PS4. I'm happy to add them to the collection. Still got that collecting bug, man. Still like to have the discs. But I did buy some digital stuff as well. I bought, looking over at my TV, Accounting Plus. Now this was made and scripted by the guy who created Rick and Morty. And I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan. I really love the humour in that programme. And Accounting Plus is from, well, one of the creators of Rick and Morty. I think is it Dan Jarvis? One of them anyway. Not the other one, obviously. But it's really random, basically. How can I describe Accounting Plus? It's like a VR Inception game. Kind of, you keep going through these VR worlds, keep putting on headsets and arriving somewhere else. But it's just so random. It's more of an experience. I wouldn't really like to call this a game. This is definitely up there with one of the best VR experiences. Let it be known, it is not really a game. It's just really funny, interacting with objects in the environments you get put in on a fairly superficial level. But the humour is really good. It feels, it has got a good sense of presence. It's just got one main joke that runs through the whole thing, and that is, oh my god, I can't believe how long it's taken you to do the thing that you need to do. So that, yeah, there just ends up being loads of commentary from the narrators, the characters, basically just riffing on the humour of the situation that you still haven't figured out what you're supposed to do. But that it gets to the point where you purposefully don't do the thing you're supposed to do because you want to hear the comedy stuff that they've recorded for that situation. But yeah, it's alright, it's fun. What else did I get? I think I might have already mentioned this, but Honour and Duty is another one that I got. This is a up to 5v5 online first-person shooter deathmatch game. Yeah, it works pretty damn well. It's the first multiplayer PvP, player versus player, first-person shooter on VR. Again, really low budget, very small team, but it shows what's possible. Again, you've got the indie developers leading the way on VR, showing what's possible with the medium. And yeah, those big studios, they're just not willing to take the risk to put a AAA budget down on VR when there isn't a huge market for it at the minute. But I mean, they can at least put a single A budget on, a B plus budget. Come on, these studios. I mean, the games are there now. The proofs of concept are there now for the bigger studios to look at and think, oh yeah, we could do something like that. We could put a bit of spit and polish onto that idea for a game in VR. And first-person shooter is a natural fit again, especially when you've got the aim controller on PSVR, which is adds to the immersion again. But so that's it. Those are my pickups, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next vid. Bye bye.